And good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Friday, your TGIF at 4 o'clock in the afternoon on this 17th day of January. I'm meteorologist Joe Rayo, and off to the races we go with our storm update for this upcoming weekend. I want to just make it clear that of the two weekend days, the better one by far is going to be Sunday. Sunday, I'm not expecting any precipitation. In fact, Sunday, I'm expecting some sunshine mixing with some cloud cover. There'll be a gusty breeze in the afternoon, and temperatures on Sunday may actually climb to around 40 degrees. Not bad. Have you been outside today? Have you? It was incredibly cold. Well, maybe not incredibly cold, but certainly when you stack things up against where we were at this past weekend, where we were in the 60s, we had temperatures that were mostly in the 20s this afternoon. In fact, here at the home base, the temperature was 30 degrees for a high. That was at midnight last night, and we've never gained ground since. So, in any case, we're looking for around the region temperatures that are going to be on the cold side tonight. Readings are going to be mostly in the single digits, well north and west, and teens elsewhere. I would say that if you live in an area like a valley, a rural valley, it's not out of the question that you may see temperatures tonight down somewhere, single digits to even near zero. Meanwhile, coastal locations, urban locations, places like New Rochelle and Yonkers and Mount Vernon, you'll find temperatures that are probably going to be hovering right around, oh, 13, 14, 15 degrees. No question about it. A cold night coming up tonight. For tomorrow, well, we're thinking that skies are going to start off rather cloudy. I think we might even see a little bit of dim sun. Clouds are going to be working their way in during the overnight hours tonight, especially after midnight. During tomorrow, I'm expecting temperatures to climb probably to, well, maybe by day's end around 30 degrees. Now, what I'm anticipating for tomorrow, maybe a little dim sun very early in the morning. Clouds will take over, and we're looking for snow to arrive probably by noon, 1, 2 o'clock in the afternoon tomorrow. With that, we're expecting the snow to continue through the rest of the day. Now, if you're watching south of Interstate 287, I suspect we're going to see temperatures tomorrow late in the day climb high enough so that the snow will mix with and even change to a bit of rain. And that changeover from snow to rain will then work its way northward during the evening hours tomorrow night. And so, most every place in the Hudson Valley, by the time the precipitation is coming to an end late tomorrow evening, should be more rain than anything else. How much snow is going to accumulate before any kind of a changeover? The anticipation, at least from my mind or my point of view, is down along the Sound Shore, down near the Bronx border, maybe 1 or 2 inches of wet, slushy snow. Further north, a couple, maybe 3 inches. And if you go north of the Interstate 84 corridor, there could be 4 inches, maybe even more than that, 5, 6 inches. So you can see that the further north you go, it'll be getting colder and it'll be a longer interval of time for the changeover from snow to rain. And as a result, a greater amount of snowfall. So that's how it will play out or pan out. Um, Temperatures, I said, by the end of the day tomorrow, will be hovering within a few degrees of freezing, 32 degrees. And then tomorrow evening, temperatures will climb even higher. In fact, before midnight tomorrow night, temperatures may get as high as 35 to 40. Hence the reason for the changeover everywhere, or most everywhere, by tomorrow night to mostly rain before we get that, after we get that accumulation. Then things should quit completely by midnight tomorrow night, and the skies will remain cloudy. As I said, for Sunday, it looks like it's going to be rather cloudy. There'll be some intervals of sun, a gusty afternoon breeze from the northwest, and temperatures close to 40, and then getting colder with temps only near 30 Monday and Tuesday. But much of next week, if not all of next week, will be sunny, bright. We'll have cold temperatures Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and I think by Thursday and Friday, we may bounce back up to or above 40 degrees. It does not look like we're going to see any precipitation after this storm tomorrow. We may stay dry through Sunday and all the way out through the end of next week, even next weekend. Some indications that we may get another system, another storm that may bring us some precipitation. But then again, that system may slow up. It may pass to our south. So it's not set in stone that we're going to get wet or white next weekend either. But what I can promise you is that we've got a long stretch of fine, dry, albeit initially cold weather starting on Sunday, and especially so cold Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday of next week. Anyway, not much of a change from our discussion yesterday. Let's check the chat board and talk about questions from those of you who are watching. Glenn Thompson says, wind has made it brutal on the island. It was brutal out there everywhere you went today, Glenn. Temps in the 20s, wind chills no better than the teens. It was a rough day out there to be out and about. Dennis Cassia, how you doing, Dennis? Daniel Fitzsimmons, how much snow for Long Island and Islip? Well, as far as Long Island, and if you go to my Facebook page, Joe Rayo Weather at Facebook, I put up on the board my latest snow prediction, my snow map, which actually is the exact same map I posted yesterday. For Long Island, I would say for southern and eastern sections of Long Island, that would probably include the Islip area, a coating to an inch, maybe a little more. That's about it. Further to the west and to the north, up along the north shore of Long Island, north shore of Nassau County, maybe a couple of inches. Not a big storm in terms of snow for Long Island. But again, you asked about Islip, Daniel, and I think that probably will mean for you maybe a slushy inch, give or take an inch, which means you could get anything from a coating to maybe a couple of inches. But I think the magic number for you would be one. Rush LaChapelle, he says, Joe, I will make sure to warn all concerned here up in the Albany area. Yeah, it looks like up in Albany, I'd say a good 4, maybe 5 inches, something along those lines. Yeah, it's going to be a quick mover. It's going to be a quick system. It enters the area probably around noon to 2 o'clock. It's already out of our area by 10 to midnight tomorrow night. It's going to last at most 12 hours, maybe even less than that, 10 or maybe even only 8 hours. It'll move in, move on out very quick. And I think we'll get the initial thump, so to speak, of snow. The snows that fall from early to mid-afternoon tomorrow will be the heaviest dose of snow that we're going to see here. Once we get into the latter part of the afternoon, evening, it'll begin to kind of trickle down and diminish, as well as, again, from south to north, begin to change over to just plain old rain. Leroy McKeever says, hi, Joe. Thanks for your hard work. Thank you, Leroy. It's a pleasure. It's a labor of love. And Kimberly Goldborn says, hi, Joe. Thank you for the update. And thank you for tuning in, Kimberly. Not really all that much more to add, folks, on this particular weather update. We have Donna Levasseur. Hey, Joe, it's not going to be an earth-shattering storm. Can't wait for the weather comedy by the Weather Onion. Well, I don't really read the Onion all that much. But if you want to see a comedy show of sorts on television, make sure to tune in tonight to Joe and Joe on Joe's Choppy's YouTube channel. And if you haven't already subscribed here, be sure to do so. That doesn't cost anything, and very happy to have you as a subscriber here on YouTube. Daniel Fitzsimmons says, will the cold weather stick around for February? Good question. Why don't we check out, I know it just came out a little while ago, I'm checking it right here, the Climate Prediction Center's experimental 3 to 4 week forecast. Now, unfortunately, at this moment in time, I can't show you what it says or what it looks like. I could tell you what it says. And Daniel and everybody else, the 3 to 4 week outlook, which takes us from February 1st through Valentine's Day, February 14th, according to the Climate Prediction Center, it's almost, they have the continental or the contiguous U.S. split in half from what I see here. The western half, above normal, milder than normal temperatures for places like Montana and Wyoming, Idaho, California, Arizona, Utah, the Pacific Northwest, above normal temperatures. But for the eastern half of the country, going as far west as Iowa and Missouri and Kansas and Oklahoma, all the way to the eastern seaboard, the temperatures during that first 2 weeks of February expected to be below normal. As far as precipitation is concerned, they've got below normal across the northeast, back southwest to the nation's midsection, above normal precip across Florida and the southeastern states. What does that mean? That suggests, at least to me, that they're got a storm track that's going to travel from the Gulf of Mexico to the Mid-Atlantic, and most, if not all, of the effects from those storms in early February staying just to our south. So maybe, just maybe, it will be cold and dry for the first half of February. We shall see. At least it looks like we're going to be into a protracted spell of colder than normal temperatures. So, Daniel, I hope that answers your question. And here are a few more from Donna Lavasia. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. Weather Channel, Joe Chaffee coined the phrase. Peter Bondarenko, how much snow will Philadelphia see? Well, I would think that Philly is probably going to be along the same lines of New York. I'm thinking that New York City is going to see probably the city proper, maybe an inch or two or inch or three. So I would suspect that's going to be the same story for Philly, maybe 1 to 3 inches. At least that's how it looks right now to me, Peter. Jimmy Z in New Jersey. How you doing, Jimmy? Jeffrey Mara. Hey all and hello. And how are you, Jimmy? Or Jeffrey, I should say. I'm sorry about that. And Dennis is saying hello to you too, Jimmy and Jeffrey. And that's about all for the moment. Again, I don't really have too much more to add. Scott Briller finally made it. How you doing, Scott? I was just getting ready to close down and shut off for here on YouTube, but I will be back with Joe and Joe show tonight, 7 o'clock. Love to see all of you out there for that. And as far, again, as this channel is concerned, Joe Rayo Weather on YouTube, again, if you have not, please do subscribe. All right, that's about all for now. I will close it down here. We've been about 12 minutes in. I think that's pretty well long enough on this weather discussion. And again, we're not expecting much of a change from what we were talking about yesterday and last night. And Joe and I will bounce thoughts and suggestions off each other tonight. And of course, we invite all of you to tune in on Joe Chaffee's YouTube channel at 7 o'clock this evening. I thank all of you for tuning in, and we'll be seeing you a bit later. And I'll probably be on tomorrow. Tomorrow, of course, by this time tomorrow, unless something cataclysmic happens, it should be snowing. We'll see you then later tonight with the Joe and Joe show, and probably tomorrow as well. Have a very good TGIF, and if I don't see you over the weekend, you have a great weekend, everybody.